So today's video is a Kickstarter preview on Feralis. Feralis is a 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 2. This is going to be out on Kickstarter on March 29th. I will have all of the information down in the description below, so keep watching.
Video. Why can't I get that? No. I'm gonna redo that.
So Feralis is a preview copy that was sent to me from Dear Games, so I just want to say a big thank you to them for letting me preview this for you. So of course, before we start, my name is Krissy and this is my channel 2 Sheep 1 Wheat. If there is a board game out there that you would love for me to review, please let me know what that is down in the description below. Like this video, and of course, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you are not already. So let's go ahead and take a look at the table and see how setup is for this game. So this is a little bit of a bigger game. It does come with player boards for each player because this is a 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2. So this is basically a setup of how it's going to look. Each player is going to get an 𝗖𝗛𝗘𝗧𝗖𝗛 card, which are these 2 cards right here. There's basically 3 different locations on this board that's going to give you some information here. The first being at the top here, you're going to see the name of the card. And then we go here, and this is the catalyst. So this is the catalyst that is available to this player, which are these right here. I'll go through these and what their capabilities are a little bit later on in the video, so don't miss that. We also have the divine skills right here. Now this right here is basically the categories that is possible to make up some of your cards right here. All of these cards have these symbols here, and it does come with a few different ones because there is much more variety in all of the other different 𝗖𝗛𝗘𝗧𝗖𝗛 cards. So there is this type here, which is banishing. There's necromancy. See, there's divination, and there's creed. There's metamorphosis, healing, wrath, and we have enhancement. So all of these all have different abilities, and I'll go through the 3 that I have. So mine will allow me to have 1 from this type and up to 3 of this other type here, all for a total of 12. So what you're going to do is you're going to tally up all of these that are on the top right hand of the card. You're going to tally them up and you can have up to 12 for this card in particular. This opponent up here has up to 15. Now they did end up with their total max of 5 cards. This person is only ending up with 3 cards here. So it's always at maximum 5 cards that you can have here for your divine skills. So in this game, you're using the dice to count down until that you can use them. So usually at the beginning of each of your turn, during the loading phase is when you're going to lower it down by 1. So you would lower this one down to a 3. And when it's at a 1 and at the beginning of your next turn, during your loading phase, you would simply remove the die, and that indicates that you can now use this card. Now all the abilities on these cards are different. These different icons here mean that the cards are different. They're different types. So some will allow you to potentially banish some cards. Some cards will allow you to take some cards back, maybe to your hand, maybe to your incubator. Some other cards will allow you to apply some damage to the opponent. Each card is completely different. So this one here, brute force. So a creature gets +1 constitution, their health, +1 attack, and +1 speed. So attack is an attack, a life is a life, and the speed in this game is basically triggering which creature is going to attack which creature first. So a higher speed count, you'll go first. If you have a lower speed count, then you're going to go second if you survive the attack. This one here, blood for blood. Destroy as many cards as you want from the battlefield, which is this location here. For each card destroyed, you can pay 7 life points. Now, life points is this die right here that's keeping track of the life points for your 𝗖𝗛𝗘𝗧𝗖𝗛 here. Some of the creatures that you'll have in your hand, and once they're done in their incubator, you place them out onto the battlefield. Sometimes they will stop you from your one main goal. And your main goal in this game is to reduce this life point here to 0, and that will help you win the game. But when you're playing some of your creatures up in the battlefield, a lot of the times those creatures, depending on which kind they are, will stop you from attacking your 𝗖𝗛𝗘 over here, and you'll have to attack that creature first, which would diminish basically the health of your own creatures. So to avoid any of that, in this case blood for blood, it'll allow you to destroy any cards that you may need to attack. Balance of life here, all players destroy 2 creatures from their field. All cards from all players are required. Your opponent chooses first. And then at the bottom, you have an ability here. This one is a one-shot. This one's ability is a continuous one throughout the whole game. You can place an additional card in your incubator. You can't use a catalyst on it. So your incubator is right here. And whatever card that you have in your hand at the beginning of your turn, during your second phase is when you can place cards down into your incubator here. So for a one-time shot with this one, you can just go ahead and take one from your hand and put it in here. And I'll get to what the catalysts again are a little bit later. So at the beginning of your turn, you're going to be drawing 4 creatures. That is the first thing that you do. The first turn that you have, you completely skip the loading phase, which is reducing the die numbers. And instead you go straight to a main phase, which is taking one of the creatures from your hand and placing them into your incubator. Now there's 2 locations on these cards right here. We have the call section and we have the awakening section. So these are 2 different ones. The call section is usually a little bit less strength, abilities than the awakening side. Now, if you wanted to use the call side, you will simply place it in the stand like so. If you wanted to use the awakening side, you would place it with the awakening up top. The one thing with these cards are when you get them to the table, if they are in the call section and you place it like this, once these get destroyed, they don't actually go over here when they're destroyed. These ones will actually come back, be flipped over and placed in the incubator with the awakening side face up as kind of a second chance to be able to get the card out. But if you do decide to go with the awakening side first and it does get destroyed, your creature would simply be discarded. It was destroyed. So that is how your incubator works. Another way is if you already have one of your creatures in the incubator and their die reaches 0, because at the beginning, whenever you do a loading phase, all the die from your divine skills up here and also in your incubation, you get to rotate them 1 less. So say that this one ends up, it was 1 and your next turn, now it is a 0. During your main phase is when you can play your card. Now, one way to speed this way up is using a catalyst. So say this one is 4 here, and we just placed it during our main phase because you need to place it out because you want to attack. You cannot attack for your very first turn because your other player won't have any cards out by that time. So it's just a little unfair. So if you really want to get this out, you're a little bit further on, maybe your second round, and your incubation card is sitting at a 4. If you wanted to advance that, you could use one of your catalysts here. So I do have a 4. I could use this to remove the die. It is now set to 0. These would get flipped over and you can place it back just to show that it has been used. Then the card does come out and gets played out into the battlefield. Some of these cards have abilities whenever you're placing them down. Some of them have an ongoing effect. This one here, other physical creatures get -2 attack. So let's say our opponent here had a card out. It is a physics character. So you would go ahead and use one of these right here. This just it helps to mark it, so you can place it right there in the attack location right here. So it would get -2. And this one right here says discard a random card from your opponent's hand. Now that one will only take effect when it goes to the graveyard. If it has been killed in the attack, that's when it'll be triggered once it goes to the graveyard. All of the different creature cards all have different effects. This one means when played, so this says this creature gains +1 attack for each 𝗖𝗎𝗓 card on your side. I don't have any 𝗖𝗎𝗓 cards on my side. If I did have this one next to it, then it would be a +1 for this one, and it would simply go right there, making it a +1. So that is what that icon means. This icon right here means range. So it says this creature gets +4 attack, and basically range means once it survives an attack, then you could go ahead and then simply you would just upgrade this one because it did have this 𝗖𝗎𝗓 next to it. Lots of different icons, lots of different abilities, lots of different cards. So now let's say we go into the attack phase after we've done our loading phase and our main phase. Now we're going into the attack phase. I would like to, we'll just say attack this creature right here. His speed is 4 and -1, so he would actually be attacking me first. So this one is a physical creature and mine is a corrupted creature. So in this case, this creature is going to only deal half damage to my creature here. So in this case, it would only receive 2 damage. Its health is 2, so he would actually go to the graveyard. it didn't survive the attack, so it doesn't get the benefit that was on there for being long range. So sometimes it doesn't go your way when you're attacking, and other times maybe. So there is another way to prevent us from attacking. There is 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗖𝗛 over here, and we would need to attack this one. When you place your creature down, you have the option to give it a defender token. So when you give a creature a defender token, it basically means that you have to attack that creature before you attack the opponent's 𝗧𝗧 character. So in this case, we would have to attack that one. Now, whenever you're attacking, to know which one you've attacked with, you simply just draw it back. So you can't use the same creature twice. So we could attack this one, potentially kill this one, and then use this character, bring it back to attack the opponent's 𝗧𝗧 card over here. Now, basically, they don't really have any type of defense mechanism. So whatever damage you're dealing to them, you're basically dealing the damage full force. So this 𝗬𝗓𝗔𝗓𝗧𝗖𝗛 here has a 3 damage. So say we already killed this one by using this character. Now I can attack his 𝗧𝗧 card, his 𝗧𝗧 character, and I would deal 3 damage. So you would basically take the die and you would lower it for 3 damage. So that would bring the character's health to 17. The artwork in this game is really great, so I just wanted to go through a few more cards and showcase all of the icons here and the abilities for these cards. So we'll take a look at the Awakening side here because they're usually a little bit better. So this one here, whenever you place the card down, this creature gets +1 health, +1 speed for each of these shadow cards in game. So shadow is just this purple icon at the top here. Unfortunately, that's the only one, so it wouldn't gain any extra benefits from it. But there is that one. This one can attack corrupted cards for full strength because of the icon that is right next to its attack location right here. And then here we have the 𝗬𝗓𝗔𝗓𝗧𝗖𝗛 again, which is the same card here. This one is the Awakening side. So this one here, constantly, this is an ongoing effect. It is a jumper and crawler. Now the book does go through all of the icons. Jumper means the creature cannot be blocked by a defender. So crawling, this means that the card can't be chosen as a target of an attack or from any of the divine skills down there with this keyword. Then we have High Priest 𝗖𝗛𝗓𝗧𝗖𝗛. So this one, an ongoing effect. This one is a shadow card again, and the ongoing effect is all other 𝗖𝗛𝗓𝗧𝗖𝗛 creatures on your side get +1 attack, and it has crawling. Then we have Abyssal 𝗖𝗛𝗓𝗧𝗖𝗛 here. This one, whenever you play it, shard 2. So recharge a catalyst, an exhausted catalyst. So that's great if you have a bunch that is flipped over because you can't use them unless they're flipped back right. And an ongoing effect is all other shadow creatures get +2 attack. This one here is another 𝗖𝗛𝗓𝗧𝗖𝗛 card. And again, all of these Awakening creatures have a lot higher of incubation period. So this one is a 6. The keyword here is enhance. So in this case, 2 of one of your Awakening creatures. So this means enhance removes 1 progress turn counter from a creature to your incubator. You'd be able to lower it by 2. And then the ongoing effect here is scavenger graveyard. And this means increases the creature's statistics by the number of a card in your graveyard. So this one here, this icon, so the attack. So you would basically take one of the attack numbers from one of your cards in your graveyard. I'd basically take this one for a 4. Then we have this one here. This will be the last one. This one is an ongoing effect. And silence. Silence is during your turn, the opponent cannot use their catalyst. So again, Feralis is a 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2. And all the times that we've played, this game probably lasts 45 minutes to an hour long, depending on how much battle you go through and how fast you can kill the other person's 𝗧𝗧 card. It is very back and forth with this game. So if that is something that you're into, then definitely check out the link in the description down below. It'll take you to the Kickstarter page. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you next time.